Hey everyone, me Kevin here. Donald Trump was just interviewed on Fox News by Chris Wallace. The full interview was published and I will link it down below, but I want to give you a quick synopsis of some of the important things and the bottom lines. I'm also going to do my best to do whatever I can to remain as neutral as possible because my goal is to provide you valuable information and then for you to be able to draw your own conclusions. All I care about is when you're on your way to look at the full 40-minute interview. Remember that this is sponsored by life insurance. You can click the link and sign up in as little as 5 minutes. And of course, you can get 2 completely free stocks with Webull when you sign up for Webull and deposit $100. The first stock is a little smaller and the second stock is larger, up to $1,400. Let's get started. Donald Trump was directly drilled on a few hard and important topics that could affect the future of stimulus. Here are some of the bottom lines to save you time. Number 1, Donald Trump does not believe that masks will cause the pandemic to end. He disagrees with the CDC on a recommendation that universal masking will end the pandemic in 4 to 6 weeks, which is what the CDC says. Number 2, Donald Trump believes that he has a good relationship with Dr. Fauci. This is despite staff members within the White House nicknaming Dr. Fauci Dr. Faucet for leaking too much information to the media, or other people writing op-ed pieces in the media saying that Dr. Fauci is wrong. These are people within Donald Trump's staff. Donald Trump says he has a good relationship with Dr. Fauci, but Dr. Fauci has made mistakes. And right now, what's most important is that kids go to school. Schools that do not reopen will not get federal funding. It's helpful to know that right now, only about 10% of schools' budgets come from the federal government, but that extra 10% helps create special needs programs and other programs to help students falling behind get ahead. Number 3, Trump has softened his tone on requiring a payroll tax cut in the next bill. He says he wants liability protections in the next stimulus package for businesses to help prevent lawsuits and wants a payroll tax cut, but that he would, quote, consider not signing it if a payroll tax cut was not included. We'll talk more about this and stimulus in just a moment. Number 4, Trump disagreed with polls done by Fox News showing Biden leading Trump on some topics. Numerous times, Trump called Fox News fake news and even suggested that Chris Wallace leans left. Trump expects the stock market to be stronger by the election. He believes that no one really knows what the outcome will be of this pandemic, but he does believe that at some point he will, quote, eventually be right. Donald Trump went on to slam health experts, saying that health experts thought this pandemic would just go away in the summer, and it didn't. And so now Donald Trump is questioning when health experts say, okay, well, it's going to be worse in the fall. Donald Trump thinks that those statements are overblown because they've been wrong in the past. Trump then said that over the next 2 weeks, there are going to be very exciting and very many new plans and proposals coming out. This comes right ahead of the election and obviously the next expected stimulus package. Some of these plans include plans on immigration and plans on repealing and replacing Obamacare. Trump did mention that the individual mandate has already been removed from Obamacare and that now now's the opportunity to replace Obamacare with something different. He did reassure that people with pre-existing conditions would not be cut out, and he reiterated that he was grateful that he had built the wall because he believes that more sick people from Mexico would come to the United States of America if the wall had not been built. That was the implication, at least. Furthermore, Donald Trump went on to blame Democratic governors for shutting down their states as an attempt to hamper the election. Okay, now let's break this down and understand what we're dealing with. First, in a very good sign of good news, searches on the internet for coronavirus symptoms are declining. Searches on the internet for coronavirus testing are declining. That's very good. On stimulus, no discussion was had in this interview about unemployment or stimulus checks. However, the stimulus proposal to give payroll tax cuts was discussed. Early indications were that Donald Trump might actually veto any bill that crosses his desk without payroll tax cuts. Now, we don't know if that's just tough talk because in this interview, he said that he might veto a bill if it did not have a payroll tax cut and that he would have to wait and see. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with what this means that if you're working, whether you're already back to work, whether you're getting a new job, It doesn't matter if you just got promoted or whatever. It doesn't matter. If you get paid at all, or you're self-employed, you got a boss paying you, whatever, as long as you're paying taxes on your income, you would see a roughly 6%, probably slightly more, boost to your pay. That means if you get paid working at Robinhood like I did, $100 because you worked, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, whatever it is, you would take home $100 plus $6 more because you wouldn't be paying that extra $6 in taxes. So for roughly every $100 you make, you take home an extra about $6. If you roughly make $16 an hour, you take home about $1 extra per hour. If you make about $32 per hour, you take home about $2 extra per hour. Now, payroll taxes are collected to fund Social Security, which means this is money that you would get when you retire, and Medicare, which is basically healthcare that you get when you retire. There are two parts. There's an employee part and an employer part. You each pay half. If you're self-employed, you pay both of those. We're not sure how both of these halves are going to get affected. We don't know, and we won't know yet until we have a bill. All we know right now is forget about the employers. All we know right now about is that on the employee half, your half would probably, your obligation would go down by about 6%. That means you're taking home about 6% more money. However, on a payroll tax cut, if let's say I get paid a salary of $240,000 per year, I did a calculation and I realized that a payroll tax cut would save me about $518,000 per month. That's a little less than 6% because a lot of the payroll tax benefits or costs rather stop at around $137,000 of income. But there are some that stay in there. So at $240,000 a year of income, I save about $518 per month. That's kind of like me getting an extra stimulus check of $500 per month as part of my paycheck. But somebody making $40,000 per year would receive $141 approximately per month via a payroll tax cut. So to make this a little bit more clear, the higher your payroll is, the more money you would save. This does mean that it does seem a lot of the benefits might go to people making more than 6 figures. It would also give zero extra funding to those unemployed or retired. And research suggests that about 90% of the funding for Social Security and Medicare comes from the payroll tax, which would not be good news for those systems. Also, yesterday, I read in the comments that some of you were not very happy when I called these entitlement programs, and I wanted to apologize for that. The government calls these and names these entitlement programs because you paid into them and you are entitled to get your money back. And I think I came across this sounding like I was calling my viewers entitled people, which I understand is totally wrong, and that was not the intention. So I'm just not going to use the phrase entitlement programs anymore. I'll word that better next time. By the way, huge shout out to all of you who used coupon code Larry. It's still active if you want to use it, or use Summer Fun to transform your knowledge and perspective about money, stocks, and real estate. We also have that YouTube course on pre-sale, which you could take advantage of that coupon code on as well. But I did want to talk about forbearance. Yesterday, one of you thanked me for the suggestion to get mortgage forbearance, car forbearance, and credit card forbearance, and you now have more cash than you've ever had before. We were chatting about your situation yesterday in the courses, and you're now building up a cash pile that's so large that, in your words, is the largest amount of cash you've ever had. And so now we're doing everything we can to work together to get you motivated on A, investing, and B, getting out of debt at the same time. So congratulations to you. Folks, if you have not yet taken forbearance on your car or your real estate or whatever, and you don't plan to open up new loans within the next 3 to 6 months, the next 3 to 12 months, you have no reason not to request forbearance. I highly encourage you to do it. I've also announced a new YouTube guide that is on pre-sale. Check that out down below. Use that coupon code. I'd love to see you in those. Get your life insurance, get your 2 free stocks, and folks, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.